Today is 23rd of April, 4:20, 40 minutes before the market closed. Currently, market trade a reversal bar. After this morning opening gap, this is generally negative. The only consolation is that the volume is actually quite low. Our immediate supports is at this level here at 4926. We have a pivot low here, provide some level of support at 4855. The fact that we are wide range reversal bar today, this is not likely to actually test this resistance here, which is at 5041. There was an attempt a few days back, so it's not likely to actually do so anytime soon. It'll be good if the market can hover just sideways. That will actually present us opportunity for an upside break. Otherwise, further retracements will probably need more times to actually repair. So again, on the bigger pictures, this is really part of a consolidation pattern. So it's quite choppy, particularly the blue chips, but we do see strength in the small cap stocks. This is the Nasdaq Composite as a proxy for US markets. Notice actually managed to bash through this prior high here. Quite impressive move. However, after this gap up, there was a slight pullback, and yesterday it made a high, but on lower volume. This is a sign of weakness. It's likely to actually pull back. Currently, the US market is actually, the US futures market is actually trading in negative territory. So we may expect pullback actually going forward. Again, if you can hold above the resistance, which now provides some level of support, that will be generally positive. And I would like to see whether the earnings season can provide impetus for our move. By and large, I think the Middle East tensions is probably discounted. This is the charts of gold. Generally, you notice actually it is consolidating. This is what we call normalizations, and this is generally a weak bounce. So we see further downward move from here. We see very violent actions from the Brent crude. Notice very wild swing, managed to recover above $100, but at this point in time here, it's actually not able to close well. So this is again a sign of weakness. It may actually pull back from here. $100 is a psychological support. So by and large, actually, very much depends. It's really news driven. Very much depends on the development in Middle East. Let's turn back our attentions to the local markets. One of the strongest stock of late is actually oil tax, but currently it's actually trading sideways. They attempt to close the daylight, but generally actually held up well. Today trade a small body, low volume. This is just a rest. We'd like to look for eventual break on the upside. This is Geo Energy. After this break, this is a cup-behinder patterns. Currently trading sideways with a contraction setup. Bar high here is at 65 cents. Notice a very low volume. This is positive. Bengguan. Very nice break. And currently at this point in time here, trade a series of sideways bar, a contraction setup. Bar high here is 505. Nam Cheong. They were attempt actually to break on the upside, but unfortunately we see a pullback immediately after the break. At this point in time here, this is a big dipper setup to mark out back high is at 162. ASL Marine, very strong upward move after this consolidation. So you notice over here we have a pullback and breakout of upside yesterday. Today trade inside there, low volume, so this is generally a rest day. Low for eventual break above the high here of 395. CSE Global is mapping out a saucer consolidation patterns. There was a break a couple of days back, but there's no follow through. Currently, we have a small dipper. Look for a decisive break above the high here of 140. Now here we do have a long tail here, but generally we can ignore that. The tails are actually thinner traded. Hong Leong Asia. Now this stock actually has a very nice break. This is a small deeper break, but unfortunately today we see a wide ring reversal bar. The volume is actually slightly lower. Now the line I draw here, this is a high volume resistance level. In fact, yesterday itself you almost touched that level, so not unexpected for it to actually pull back unless there's a strong catalyst to actually break through. So again, we like to see what happens over the next few sessions. If you can generally just hover below the high volume resistance level, that will be positive. Otherwise, we may see for the downside. OKP. Similarly, today we have a wide range reversal bar, but of course we are approaching this very obvious congestion area. Again, we'd like to see what happens. At this point in time, a small deeper setup. Now the conservative will wait for this high to be taken out and look for the setup. Bank United. Now this time actually ran ups when the market was experiencing weakness. And this is the first time we actually traded below the 13 SMA, and in fact there was at this point in time it's actually trading below also the 26. So this flattened 13 SMA is really indications of a consolidation, and this is not unexpected after this move. So again, the consolidation is the volume is actually low, so there's no heavy selling, so generally slightly positive, but we'd like to see what happens over the next few weeks or so. If we can just trade sideways, that will be generally positive, and we'd like to see a new base form. Palm oil stock generally quite strong. This is Bobitama holding up well because market generally is actually negative today. It was at one stage was down about 50 points. So again, this is really a consolidation. Look for a decisive break above this recent high here, and this is probably at about 198. First Resources, very strong upward move. In fact, this is probably one of the very few gainer today. 4 in a row, very nice. Look for pullback, look for new setups to go long. Bank stock generally actually weakened. This is OCBC. Today it actually went ex-div, but you're actually trading down more than the 58 cents. So it's actually negative in that sense. So again, this may well be just a consolidation, and we just have to wait it out. DBS, again, sideways move. Very much, nothing much to actually talk about. This is really a consolidation. VOB mentioned before, this is probably the weakest of the 3 bank stocks. So again, notice the retracements is trading below the 1326 SMA. So there's no leadership from the financial sectors. UOB came in slightly better but experiencing pullback right now. So if you take a look, this stock actually has a very nice consolidation breakout. And right now it's just trading sideways, trying to digest the recent gain. And I would like to actually observe, see what happens. XGX, now this is one of the very few blue chips that actually inch up. So at this point in time here, it's trading a reversal bar with very low volume. This is positive. Again, we'd like to see what happens. If we can just trade sideways, we'd like to actually look for eventual break on the upside.